Galimera. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I don't know if you can see this little fellow, but he's been ever so loving this morning. This little Sandy, who people say is gorgeous. There he is. There he is, little Sandy. Yeah. Anyway, I forgive me for the late broadcast this morning. Jane and I, as you saw from our pictures on Facebook, we were out last night celebrating her birthday, and obviously we got up a little bit late this morning with some sore heads. I don't even go to bed, to be quite honest. But anyway, that's by the by. Also, as well, all the news kind of hadn't been written by me last night either, because I was too busy doing other things. So in some ways, that was a good thing, this delayed broadcast, because a lot has been going on within the last 24 hours. I've just got a glorious, well, it is kind of glorious. We've had lots of rain, southern line as well through the night, and now we just got a few clouds about. Can I thank Amanda for her concise weather forecast? Let me just lean up and get to me computer. She says, good morning, Ginge. Friday's weather, thunderstorms throughout the day, some bright spells in between. So here's a bright spell at the moment. Temperatures 18, but it's going to feel like 21. Have a nice day. And also she sends thanks to Jane for a lovely birthday as well. Thank you for that, my lovely, as well. I've also got another rather interesting message. Dave Matthews, he's on a 24-hour ban from Facebook this morning. He says, Ginge just got banned 24 hours from Facebook. I posted a picture of Hitler with his gang overlooking the white cliffs of Dover, saying, if only we'd thought of a dinghy. And I got him a 24-hour ban on Facebook. I had to laugh, to be quite honest. Anyway, good on you, mate. Anyway, a bit of discord. Nice to have a bit of Raff Reg humour there as well. Right, let's have a look at COVID in the last 24 hours as well. Just waiting for the screen to click round. I don't know, the internet today seems to be running really, really slowly at the moment. Anyway, oh, do you know what I've done? I do know it's 6,000 and something. I've just realised I didn't put the latest daily infections where I should have done. I put all the other updates on. But anyway, infection rate is down slightly. It's about 6,100 and something today. That's down from 7,317 on the day before. That means that we've had 861,117 infections since the pandemic started. 50% of those are male. 7 new cases were identified after checks into the country. That was up by 1 on yesterday's 6. Now, when it comes to the islands, quite interesting, the stats on the islands at the moment. Lefkada had 2 new cases. That was down on the day before, where they had 7. They're still in the green at the moment. Corfu has had a slight drop in infections as well. They had 139 on the other report. Today, 108 new infections reported there. That island is still in the red. Kefalonia, they've had the same amount of infections today as they did the other day. So they've had 3 new infections. They're still in amber. And as for Zakynthos, we've had an increase again, but only by a couple. Yesterday, I reported to you 14 new infections on the island. Today, 16 new infections on the island. And Zakynthos is still in the red at the moment. Don't forget, on Monday, I'm going to collate all the week's numbers and give you the comparison to the week before, and I'll be doing that on the Monday broadcast. All right. Anyway, when it comes to deaths at the moment, deaths have decreased in Greece. If you might remember, yesterday we'd reported 87. That was the highest number of deaths since May the 5th. Well, yesterday there were 63 new deaths across the country. That brings the total now to 17,012. Those people were, or 95% of them were, people with underlying diseases or were over the age of 70. And again, our condolences to those families that are affected. When it comes to the ICUs at the moment, the ICUs have seen a drop ever so slightly in people in incubation. Yesterday reported 561. Today can report 556, of which 347 are male, 209 are female. The average age of those is around about 64 years of age, and 84% of those have underlying health issues or are over the age of 70. Now, regarding critical patients, 459 of those people are unvaccinated or partially vaccinated, and 97 are fully vaccinated. Right, today's news then. Now, yesterday there was a lot of confusion because the Prime Minister is saying one thing about not changing anything, keeping it as it is, and then in the next breath, yes, new measures are now coming into force. His ministers are saying one thing and then another thing happens. Sounds very much like the UK in some way, and the medical people are obviously saying another thing, and they're obviously being ignored in some ways as well. So again, seems to be the same right way across Europe, whether you're in the UK, whether you're in America, whether you are in Greece. One person says one thing, another person says another thing, and people are a bit confused. And that has been highlighted in the Greek press here about confusion. Anyway, this is what we know at the moment, all right? Now, the Prime Minister, I'll start again. People that remain unvaccinated against COVID-19 will face the imposition of more restrictions beginning next week. According to the Prime Minister, Mr. Mitsotakis, who had been making a televised address last night amid an unrelenting surge in pandemic in the last recent weeks. Now, more specifically, unvaccinated people will be barred from entering more indoor spaces, including cinemas, museums and gyms as of Monday, November the 22nd, to ensure, as Mitsotakis said, that Greece has a better Christmas this year than last year. Right. Indicatively, unvaccinated adults who until now were only excluded from indoor eateries will no longer be able to access additional indoor venues with a negative COVID test result. Anyway, it is an immediate act of protection and, of course, to urge people to get vaccinated, he said. Anyway, the vaccine gives victory to people and not to the disease. I just hate that rhetoric. Listen, mate, it's not a war at the end of the day. It's a virus. It's a flu virus. It will do what it wants to do. And to say that somehow you're going to be victorious over it, I think there's no Trojan horse there, mate. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, he said, emphasizing that today more than 7 million Greeks have chosen the vaccine. Good, they've chosen the vaccine. Some have had it mandatorily forced upon them because of their job. And he also said that means that 3 out of 4 adults have been vaccinated. Anyway, he bemoaned, however, that 575,000 fellow citizens over the age of 60, I think he's talking about me here, remain unprotected. We know that they are being hit the hardest by the virus. Almost 1.5 million of the same group, he noted, completed their vaccination 6 months ago. Although protected, they become more vulnerable as they have fewer antibodies. Well, I thought this was the idea of the vaccine in the first place, was to protect you from the disease. So even though you've been vaccinated, you can still catch it after you've been vaccinated. And again, why not look at the people like myself who've had the disease? You contracted it, you got over it without any help from the vaccine. Why not start looking at us and say, what is it about you people that have been able to get it and actually work through it and not died from it? Yes, I know people have died from it, and I've probably been one of the lucky ones, but why is nothing being done to look at these people? Look at all the people that have lost their jobs in the health sector at the moment, not just here in Greece, but also in the UK, because they weren't vaccinated. Why was it that they weren't contracting the disease while they were working? You know, what is it about their immune systems that was different to somebody who contracted the disease? Why are people not looking at those that have had it and have got over it? Anyway, he also said he also said, although protected, they become more vulnerable as they have fewer antibodies. He said, bearing in mind, Mitsotakis announced that the vaccination certificates of those aged over 60 would expire 7 months after the completion of the initial shots. So now you've had your injections, you're now expected to get the booster. And obviously, just to encourage you to get that booster, we're now going to make your vaccination certificate that you had for your first round of jabs invalid after 6 months. So there you go. Big Pharma making some more money. Anyway, given that the booster shot is necessary 6 months after the second dose of the vaccine, this means that this age group will be given a month to get it before their vaccination certificates lose its validity. So again, they're giving you a month basically to renew your certificate. He also said as well, staggered working hours will also apply in public and private sectors in order to avoid overcrowding, especially at rush hour times and on public transport, while special provisions will apply for parents with school children. So it looks like they're going to run this system that they were talking about, where they have a morning shift for kids at school and also an afternoon shift for kids at school. So we'll see how that works out. But they're not closing the schools. The kids are still going to be able to go to school, but there's going to be less kids in the classes. You might remember yesterday, I did say that the municipality here in Zakynthos were looking at maybe using other buildings to put children in those other areas for lessons as opposed to in their normal school area. But again, the finer details of this have not yet been revealed. Anyway, Mitsotakis also said inspections would be ramped up. Inspections will continue even more intensively, and I don't like this language. There are no suckers and know-it-alls in a national battle. He's talking about me there. Everyone must enter it more decisively, taking on their responsibilities, the state, the local government, the scientific bodies, also the individual professional associations. So he's having a dig there at people who are just basically asking questions, saying, why are we doing this? And I just saw as well that a lawyer was arrested yesterday for anti-vax thing. I don't know the story behind what he was saying, but the point is that they're arresting people for asking questions and pointing out stuff. Again, this is like a third state, you know. It really does worry me, and it worries, and it's not just here, it's in the UK as well, and it's also in America also as well. Anyway, he said regarding the churchgoers, he said that the unvaccinated churchgoers should have a negative laboratory test, as the Synod of the Orthodox Church of Greece has already called for. Now, you're saying that to go to church, you have to go and get tested, but in the same breath, you're saying if you're unvaccinated and you want to go into the shops or into the cafes and bars and restaurants, you're now completely banned from there, even if you've done a test. So again, the confusion of it. Okay, we're not stopping you from practicing your religion. You can still have a test to go and practice your religion. So again, it's this kind of like picking and choosing what you can do and what you can't do. And again, will we see a lockdown coming at some point in the way that the Netherlands and also Austria are talking about this? Again, what's been imposed here is just what Austria has gone and done by not allowing the vaccinated out of their homes and basically being able to go about their business once they've had their PCR test. So again, they haven't banned them yet from the shops yet, but as in the food shops, but we'll wait and see if that day comes, all right? Anyway, again, going back to COVID again, I'm sorry about this, but another story that came up on my radar this morning. A growing number of people in Greece who have been fully vaccinated against COVID-19 are catching the virus as their immunity wanes, official figures have indicated. According to the data presented on Thursday by Greece's National Organisation for Public Health, EOD, about 40% of new reported infections over the past few days have been among fully vaccinated people. Breakthrough infections also appear more prevalent among adults up to the age of 59 years of age. Now, last Sunday, for example, they said there was 1,539 or 39.8% Of the 3,869 infections for that day reported concerning people who had completed vaccinations, around 70% were in that age group. A breakdown of Sunday's figures was also provided for different vaccines as well. Among those who had received both doses of the Pfizer vaccine, 40% were the 40 to 59 age group, 30% were 18 to 39, and 15 were 60 to 79-year-olds. Likewise, for Modern vaccine that's used here, 55% were 40 to 59-year-olds, 30% were 18 to 39-year-olds, and 15% were 60 to 79-year-olds. Now, the picture was different regards the AstraZeneca shots, which were mostly delivered within 3 months of each other. Here, the majority of the breakthrough infections, or 45%, concerned people 60 to 79 age group, and 25% were each in the 18 to 39 and the 40 to 59 categories. However, the 18 to 39 age group accounted for 65% of all breakthrough infections, with the single shot Johnson & Johnson vaccine, which was taken up in large numbers by young people on the islands, they said, ahead of the start of the tourism season last April, while those aged 40 to 59 made up 25%. So obviously that age group seems to be smaller. Anyway, keeping closer track of breakthrough infections, the Oddie also plans to change the way it reports the trajectory of the virus in its daily bulletins by providing the percentage of fully vaccinated individuals among new cases and for fatalities. Right now, the breakdown only concerns patients in intensive care. And once again, I will probably be putting those in as well, because it's just interesting to see how many of those people that do get infected are vaccinated and not unvaccinated, whereas we've only been looking at the intensive care numbers for vaccinated and unvaccinated there. So that's going to be interesting to see what that development brings as well. Anyway, they also said in a related development, the platform opens today for COVID-19 booster shots. If you want to get one, because you're obviously getting to the point where your immunity now is waning because you had that first shot, you can obviously go to your local pharmacy and they can book you an appointment to obviously get your jab here. Anyway, they also said people who took the Johnson & Johnson, the first round, they can get a booster 2 months after the booster shots are advised for people aged 18 and 6 months after completed vaccine. I'll say that again. Booster shots are advised for people over the age of 18, 6 months after having completed vaccinated, been completely vaccinated with the Pfizer, Modern and AstraZeneca shots. People who took the J&J shot in the first round can get a booster shot 2 months later. All right. So there you go. If I was going to have it, I would probably go for the Johnson & Johnson, which was supposed to be the one shot, and that's all you needed. But now, yes, you need to top that one up as well. Anyway, also another little thing that just came up literally on the radar as well this morning is people who have been vaccinated against COVID-19 abroad, okay, or who have a certificate of recovery from the disease issued by another country, they will be able to require a certificate in Greece in the next few days, the Deputy Minister of Digital Government said. All right, speaking on Sky TV, he said the certificates will be issued via an application on the gov.gr platform, which will allow users to have complete their initial round of vaccinations abroad to book an appointment for a booster shot in Greece. So if you need a booster shot and you had your jab abroad, it looks like the Greek government are going to let you have a booster shot here. You just got to go online to .gov.gr. And again, go and speak to your pharmacist as well. They're really good at things like this. I know our pharmacist is, and they'll be obviously be able to offer you the best advice. All right. Also, as well, another breaking story as well. Greek authorities say that 7 migrants have been killed and 8 others injured after the driver of the vehicle they were travelling in lost control and crashed near a highway toll station in northern Greece. Now, police said this morning the vehicle was carrying 15 people who've been travelling on the highway from the area of Greece's northeastern border with Turkey towards North's main city of Thessaloniki when it crashed just after midnight. Now, the vehicle had been travelling at high speed and the driver lost control as he tried to exit the highway, hitting a toll booth and crashing into a nearby storage container. Anyway, the injured, 4 men from Pakistan, 1 from Afghanistan, 2 men from Nepal, as well as 35-year-old Moldovan driver who police considered was acting as a smuggler. They have been transported to hospitals in northeastern Greek town of Ixania and Komotini. Anyway, the 7 people that were killed in the crash included 1 woman. Their nationalities were not immediately known, authorities said. And it's also just a reminder that Greece lies along one of the most populated routes into the European Union for people fleeing poverty and conflict in Asia, the Middle East and Africa. The most frequent route used for clandestine entry into Greece are the short but dangerous sea crossings from the Turkish coast to the nearby Greek islands, or crossing the heavily guarded land border between Greece and Turkey. So there you go. Migrants killed on the motorway in up near Thessaloniki. And finally, this was a little interesting story. Being ex-RAF, I do like keeping a little eye on what the Hellenic Air Force is up to. Anyway, it seems there was an abandonment of an F-16. Now, an abandonment, I would think there is no Greek word for ejection. Okay, a F-16 fighter took place. It says took place on Thursday at about 15:40 inside the Andariba Air Base. Seems an SOS was given by the pilot, who, for precaution reasons, was transferred to the First General Hospital of Patras and then to the 251 General Aviation Hospital. According to the General Staff of the Hellenic Air Force, the abandonment took place during the landing phase of the F-16 after a training flight, while it clarified that the pilot successfully left the aircraft on the ground. So basically, it sounds like his ejector seat went off as he was trying to come into land. Luckily, the plane, by the sounds of it, landed okay on the ground, but he obviously didn't. So again, hopefully he is okay. Right, that's it for the news for today. Can I just say thank you on behalf of Jane for all those people who sent happy birthday messages yesterday. Can I also thank those people that came round to the house as well and brought little gifts and things for her as well. They were greatly appreciated as well. Again, yeah. The weekend is here. That's all I'm going to say. Oh, yeah, mustn't forget, I've got a show on tonight on Beats Radio. My dance anthem show is being broadcast tonight. If you want to tune into that, it is at 7 p.m, which is UK time in the UK, after the Drive Time 80 show with Paul Shazam. And I'm on from 9 p.m. here, Greek time, 2 hours ahead, remember, on obviously beatsradio.co.uk. Big shout out to Sean Webb, who's tuning in at the moment, Raffredge Buddy, also Derek and Bridget Cole in Cyprus, who are also tuning in as well. I don't know how things are going for you guys over there at the moment with the COVID, whether your numbers are ramping up or not. Be curious to find out. Lisa Saunders is looking in, Paul Brignall is looking in, Chippy Woods in Spain is also tuning in as well. Nice to see you looking in, fella. Shane Bowen up there in Exmoor is looking in as well. Nice to have you checking in. Chris Jones as well is checking in. Jack Harmer, another Raffredge buddy, says, morning, dude. Morning there, Jack. How you doing, fella? Phil Ellis is also another Raffredge buddy tuning in as well. Lisa Hancock says, Lauren is looking in as well. How you doing, my lovely? I know you were going on holiday somewhere rather nice. So I hope you got there safe and sound and had a good time. Rob Davis is looking in as well. Lindsay Lamb over there near Laguna is also tuning in as well. Nice to see you looking in as well. And that's it at the moment. Right, let me just say, I'll be back again tomorrow. I'll keep my ear to the ground. I probably won't be as hungover, that's for sure. But anyway, I will keep my ear to the ground. If I hear of anything, I will let you know. And a big shout out to Karen Swales as well. And don't forget, if you're watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe to the channel. I'm just trying to make it grow a bit. All right, and it's a great place if you want to catch up on any other shows that I've done. Go and have a check in there for whatever date, out of your curiosity, to find out how things have been going. Right, anyway, that's it from me. I've got to go now. Catch you later. Ta-ra.